You can keep like this, then it will not touch. Okay. Children, what are you writing now? Hello, Miss. One work should be done at a time. If we start doing 2, 3 works, then it will be difficult, right? Isn't it? So, when there is time of discussion, please discuss. When there is time of presentation, you present. Understood or not? Today, at first, Amrit will present. Or who is going to present? Sorry? Nirajan is going to present. Okay. So, one will present, next must comment. If there is anybody to comment, that is also okay. You mark what type of things are lacking, you have to explain. Okay. Nirajan will comment, present, and Rakshak will comment. Now, what type of things were lacking, you will explain. No need to explain that same slide. What was missing? Just pay attention. Right? Understood or not? Next day, another will present and next will comment. In that way, now presentator and commentator. So that there will be discussion also. Sometimes there may be something lacking, isn't it? So he forgot to say these things. If you say, then others also they will be clear. And now this is not time to play boy, changing Bomjan, and people they were calling your name as smart student, but you are playing with those both pens. Keep the pen in your bag. Do one walk at a time. What to do? One walk at a time, and you have to be up to date. Remember this word, eh? What is the word? Up to date. Everything must be up to date. That's right. So without wasting time, let me welcome on the stage Nirajan, Shrestha for the presentation of biodiversity and environment. Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah. Again, same time. Okay. So,
So, hello everyone, as you all know, it's me, Nirajan Shrestha from grade 8, all of your friends. So, today I'm going to be explaining on the topic of principle of sustainable development. Principle means the rules or the regulations that we should follow while doing a sustainable development. So, the 5 principles of sustainable development are as given below. Conservation of ecosystem. So, the thing that the people must think before doing any sustainable development is that they have to focus on what they should do to preserve or conserve the ecosystem, because if we don't conserve the ecosystem, then the animals which are found in our locality, they might get extincted, which will cause any type of reducement of any facilities to the next generation. So conservation of biodiversity. So this people who perform the sustainable development activities, they must be focused on conservation of ecosystem and conservation of biodiversity. So sustainable development of society. So while doing sustainable development, it should not only be for a particular individual or an organization, but it should be for a society, because as we all know, Nepal is a very rich country. It is very rich in every type of things that are necessary for the sustainable development. So to perform the sustainable development, the people who perform it, or the organization who is going to perform it, must think for the development of society too, because every person lives in a society. A society makes a country. So conservation of human resources. So we know about the two sources of energy: they are renewable source of energy and non-renewable source of energy. So the two source of energy, the renewable source of energy, they are found unlimited in nature, but the non-renewable source of energy, they are found limited in nature. So they must be preserved and kept for a chronic time, so the next generation can use it. So population control, the population must be managed. In some countries, the population is too much that the nation can't hold it and have to send the a person from one country to another country. So these are the principles for the sustainable development. So is the note making for this topic done? Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to discuss about what role can we play for sustainable development. We are the citizen of a nation. We are the member of a society. So we must give some effort for the sustainable development. So what roles can we do? What else can we do? So, sustainable development for performing this sustainable development, not only an individual can do it, but the society must help for it. Likewise, we also must give our full effort for the development. So, it's given that development and environment are closely interrelated. So, development and environment. So, for development of the any nation, environment is related, and developmental activities affect the environment more or less. The developmental activities which have the least negative effects on the environment are called eco-friendly. Eco-friendly. So eco-friendly is made up of two terms. It's eco and friendly. Eco means our ecosystem, as we all know, and friendly means it doesn't harm any part of ecosystem or any component of it. Eco-friendly simply means that the type of sustainable development that doesn't harm or that doesn't give any negative effect to the ecosystem is called as eco-friendly or nature-friendly development activities. Thus, while establishing industries, hydroelectricity projects, or while constructing roads or dams, their positive and negative impacts on the environment are studied, which is called EIA. So, EIA is the study of science that says about the negative effects and the positive effects which are found while constructing roads. So while constructing roads, there are some advantages and disadvantages. So while constructing road, we know about the advantages that are we can now transport from one place to another place in a proper way. But for making that roads, also many type of natural resources are used that make lead it to the reducement of the number of it, or dams. Dams means the barrier which are kept in any big rivers, which helps to control the flow of water. Their positive and negative impacts on the environment, as I said below before. So now it's given here about efforts made by Nepal to achieve the goal of sustainable development. Just before we studied about the efforts made by us for the sustainable development. Now we are going to study about what our country made efforts for the sustainable development. In 2015, in in 2015, 95 195 nations agreed with the United Nations that they can change the world for the better development. This will be accomplished by bringing together their respective governments, business, media, institutions of higher education, and local some sustainable development goals are in the picture. So, the topic was about efforts made by Nepal to achieve the goal of sustainable development, but maybe it's not given here all about it. So, I'm going to explain it by my side, by my own. So Nepal is a small country which lies between the big countries, as you know, India and China. So we can observe that India and China are too much developed than our country. So for that development, they must have been using some methods or some formulas. So likewise, they are doing sustainable development in a proper way. They are not wasting the natural resources, or they are doing every work in a proper way. They are not doing works or development in a haphazard way. So likewise, Nepal has also made some effort. So we know about some of Nepal, some of the Nepal conservation areas, some of the Nepal's governmental agency. So now I'm going to ask a question. So we all know that Nepal has a national government agency. So it's NTNC. So without looking book, you have to answer me what is its full form. First from this group A, the full form of NTNC. Yes, it's National Trust. It's National Trust for Nature Conservation. So Nepal has done some efforts. It's by opening a agency called NTNC, which full form is National Trust for Natural Conservation. So by this agency, So the government gives it some facilities so that the biodiversity and the ecosystem is preserved by it. It's given here about afforestation and forest conservation. So now these are the methods for the biodiversity or ecosystem conservation. So the first point is afforestation and forest conservation. So afforestation and deforestation, these are the two words which has similar in it is forestation. So forestation, it is the similarities in it which says about that it is something related with forest. So the term afforestation, it means planting trees, but the term deforestation, it means to cut the trees. So forest is the main source of firewood, timber, medicinal plants, and raw materials for different industries. It also provides a natural habitat for wildlife. So it's given that forest has a very vital role for the development of a nation. So forest gives us with the firewood, timber, medicinal plants, and raw materials. So we know about many different products that are made nowadays in many industries. So for making those products, so raw materials are needed, which is being provided by the forest for different industries. It also provides a natural habitat for wildlife. We know about some wild animals. We have studied about it in very much junior classes. So we know that the wild animals, they are found in forest. So forest gives a habitat for the wild animals to stay on. Exchange of gases helps to balance the environment. For sustainable development, forest is conserved by local consumer groups. So we know that forest has a very important role, not only for the development, for the balance of the environment. Also, forest is very important. We know that forest is full of trees. So it's given about a picture. It shows that the look, here are some people who are planting these trees. So this shows for the term afforestation. Afforestation. So these people are planting trees, whereas you can see at back that the trees are being cut. So this process is called deforestation. Deforestation, and the next one is called afforestation. So for making our country better, we must use trees. It's true, but if we cut any trees and cut it at all, then the amount of tree that we cut, we must again plant it so that the environment can be balanced. Thank you. That was all about so this slide. So this is a presentation of Group F by lesson Group A F. I was F, you know. We'll start. I'm going to explain, give a comment. I'm going to give a comment on the biodiversity and the environment. The chapter 4. What role can we play for sustainable development? We're starting from the middle. So the topic is about what role can we play for the sustainable development of our country. Development and environment are closely interrelated. Development activities affect the environment more or less. The developmental activities which have the least negative effect on the environment are called eco-friendly or nature-friendly development activities. This sentence says that the developmental activities which have the less or no damage, negative effects on the environment is eco-friendly. Eco-friendly is thus like conserving the doing development, but also not harming the ecosystem or nature. While establishing industries, hydroelectricity projects, or while constructing roads or dams, their positive and negative impacts on the environment are studied, which is called EIA. Where is it? Yes. While establishing industries create things for us, which necessary things for us like beds and type shit. Hydroelectricity projects. Hydroelectricity is just getting electricity out of water, which while constructing roads and or dams are just those walls between the river and humanity, the wall between rivers, which controls the water from you know coming out of the rivers. All roads are for transportation of vehicles, so we can get to another place easier and smoothly. Their positive and negative negative impacts on the environment are studied, which is called EIA. This
You have asked to comment what letting what you again from next time you can right. Now I think this Unish said you want to comment on it.
yes.
Please come.
As the presentation of was Nirajan, I am here just to comment. But the thing is, no comments because Nirajan is one of the greatest presenters in this school. No offense to him, but still, he missed very crucial roles in this topic. The topic was what roles can we play for the sustainable development. As you know, there is there is a lot of development needed to be happening in this country. Nepal is one of the least developed country due to its overpopulation and lots of degradation in biodiversity throughout the years. So the main reason that biodiversity is degrading in Nepal is due to deforestation. For a lot of sectors in development of a country, uh, lots of trees are cut down. For instance, look at homes building around. For instead of using some ladders, they are using bamboos as a sector of climbing. My saying for the deforestation is, if you cut one tree, plant four more. And here it says what development and environment are closely interrelated. That's why developmental activities affect the environment more or less. This line is very important. Development activities affect the environment more or less. Developmental activities like building of lots of factories, building of many other things which produce lots of pollution and other things are affecting the environment more. Like just as I said, deforestation is one, noise pollution, air pollution, and the main part of Nepal is that Nepal is very rich in water resources, and the unwanted chemical sewages from the factories can go to the water. And Nepal is like one of most of the Nepali people are in the range of poverty, so they go to the rivers, they take out water from there and drink from it. That's how. So if the factory creates lots of sewages, uh, it throws it into unwanted places like some rivers. Some they just throw it in some abandoned places. But the main problem is throwing it in rivers because Nepal is the second richest country in the source of water, and lots of people fall under the range of poverty. Thus, they cannot afford a lot of water, so they need to go to the natural resources like rivers, lakes, ponds, etc. for their source of water. And if the factories they threw their unwanted chemical sewages in the rivers, it can cause a lot of problem to the upcoming generational people, which if these chemicals are consumed by us humans, it may lead to death and many dangerous diseases like cancer, etc. This was my first one. Second one, efforts made by Nepal to achieve the goal of sustainable development. As Nirajan said, this topic This presentation has not talked much about it, but this in 2015, 95 nations agreed with the United Union. There is a similar story like this, but it is very old. I think in 1993, the ozone layer was about to be destroyed, and many countries, due to the global warming, lots of countries they agreed to stop the usage of lots of fossil fuel and gases for some years. Thus, the ozone layer was safe. So, what that union made was, if a whole different group of people agree with each other, the earth can be a much better and more beautiful place. So Nepal is also one of the richest country in biodiversity. Efforts made by Nepal achieve the goal of sustainable development. So Nepal is developing day by day. There is no question about it. But main thing in Nepal is people are just throwing garbage everywhere. If you like, let's take for an instance, if you take a ride from here to, let's just say, up to their city center, up to there, you will see lots of garbage just thrown in the ground randomly. That can cause pollution. If the people breathe the same air as there is the garbage right there in front of them, there is lots of harmful there are lots of harmful bacteria, viruses in there. A person can be very sick, and okay, sir, a person can be very sick through those diseases. So effort made by Nepal. There is one person, everybody might know him. He is the current mayor of Kathmandu, Balen Shah. He started a whole different thing. You know, different people say, people say, नेताहरूले के गर्दैन, this is useless. Balen created a whole different, like, a whole different group to remove all the unnecessary garbage, removed, and development. I mean, and destruction of all the buildings which are created in governmental land. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Actually, listen, interactive sessions are very interesting, but what to do? We have got limited time, isn't it? So, actually, the presentation was based on this thing, class 8, right? Class 8. Yesterday means on Friday, there was presentation from same group on sustainable development and importance of sustainable development. It was discussed. Today, what was discussed? Principles of sustainable development. How many principles are here? What is the first one? Conservation of ecosystem, conservation of biodiversity, and the development of society, conservation of what also population control, right? And what roles can we play? Actually, this is very, very important. Whether you want to make that development process for a long or short, it is under you. Last time I was just watching some videos in YouTube. It was shown 10 cities of the world without people. Big, big cities are there, but no one is residing because no facilities are there, no water supply, no source of income. Once there used to be mine, might be silver mine or gold mine or some other mines. That's why many people they rushed to sit over there, reside there. But when the mines mineral was completed, then there was no source of income and they left whole place. There are thousands of houses, but no people are residing. But that is that sustainable development? That is not sustainable development. So actually, human beings they have to play key role And here are some goals made by Nepal government for sustainable development. It is given here also as well. What are they? Number one, no poverty. Number two, zero hunger. Hello, boys and boys, look at it. Number three, good health and well-being. Number four, water and science. Number five, number six, number seven, number eight, nine, next, and children, here is given some of the goals of sustainable development. What is the first one? To minimize the food crisis. Number second, conserve the local varieties of crops and wild plants. Next one. Number four. And some national effort are made for sustainable development. What is the first one? Afforestation and forest conservation. Afforestation is planting new and new plants in that barren land. And next one, conservation of forest means wise use of forest products. These two things must be done, and we have completed up to here. So children, everybody open your book and start note making. And today I will give you some questions as well. So let me write the questions. I will tell you question, please. Write down. Number one. Question number one is define sustainable development. Question number one. Please write down in your rock copy. Hey. What is the first question? Define sustainable development. Number second. Write any four importance of sustainable development. Such type of question must be written in your rock copy. Okay, children? Write any four importance of sustainable development. Four only. Mention any three principles of sustainable development. Mention any three principles of sustainable development. Principles of sustainable development. Write the full form of SDG and EIA. You have to find out the full form. Write down. Write the full forms of SDG, capital S, capital D, capital G, and EIA, capital E, capital I, capital A. Mention any 7 sustainable development goals. Sustainable development goals. Any 6, any 7 sustainable development goals. You write all questions. How many questions are written? Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Good, very good. Okay, that's all.